Now, from the studios of Into Tomorrow in Miami, this is ITTV.
Hello, Into Tomorrow ITTV viewers. I'm Dave Graveline. Happy to be back in the good old US of A after our most recent China trip. Be sure to watch last week's video if you missed our highlights from the biggest consumer electronics show in China, Sino-CES in Qingdao. We also toured an LCD factory, ate some interesting food, and talked to a lot of people. Check it out when you can. Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? While we post our weekly reports to several video sharing sites, YouTube continues to be our most popular home. So if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It only takes a second. Thank you to everyone who continues to support our ITTV channel. I've been carrying the latest Samsung Galaxy S3 smartphone lately, and I have to tell you, so far, there's nothing not to like about this phone. Rob takes a closer look at this new device with so many features, we haven't had time to play with all of them yet. Now, keep in mind, as Rob talks about it, that he's a major iPhoney. So let's see how objective and excited he can get about this phone.
Thanks, Dave. Yes, I too have been in lust with the Samsung Galaxy S3 since we first saw it at CTIA Wireless back in May. And as a jealous iPhone user, I would consider the S3 as my first Android phone. The Galaxy S3 and other Android smartphones are setting a new standard: bigger screens. Apple will have to impress us iPhone owners with the next version, or we'll jump ship. This week we're going to show you some of our favorite features on the Galaxy S3. While it doesn't have the sharpest or brightest screen like we've seen on other phones, it does have a 4.8-inch HD Super AMOLED screen with Corning Gorilla Glass 2, which is currently one of the toughest screens available. The S3 has one of the most responsive touchscreens we've ever experienced with Android. It could be thanks to the Ice Cream Sandwich OS or the 1.5 GHz dual-core processor and 2 GB of RAM. Bottom line, we love the screen. iPhone users like myself can no longer make fun of screen capture procedures on Android devices. The S3 takes the cake though. For example, on the iPhone you would press and hold the lock and home button to take a screenshot. On the other hand, the Galaxy S3 uses a scanning approach. You simply swipe the side of your hand from left to right, or vice versa. It's really cool. When it comes to security, the face recognition feature is awesome. To unlock the Galaxy S3, you can set it to scan your face. It won't work with a picture of you. It needs to be a live scan of your face. If the face recognition fails, you can use the standard pattern password. We're also loving the 8-megapixel camera on the S3. With added software effects and settings, it takes adequate pictures. The camera is a lot better than other cameras we've seen on Android devices currently, and it snaps pictures really fast with relatively no shutter lag. The rear camera records 1080p video, and the 1.9 megapixel front camera records 720p video. Other unique features we like are the Buddy Photo Share, where it will recognize a previously tagged face and lets you share it with them easily after you take their picture, via email or messaging, and Smart Stay, where the screen display will remain bright as long as you're looking at the phone. Set it down and it'll go to sleep based on your screen timeout. The Galaxy S3 also has something called S-Beam, where it will transfer media files with another S3 device. We only had one device in our studio, so we didn't get to review this part. If you tried it, we'd love for you to share your experience with us in the comments section, or call into our national radio program. The Samsung Galaxy S3 is a 4G LTE phone. For testing purposes, we use the Verizon wireless version as it's Dave's preferred carrier. The network hasn't let us down. We got some really good speeds. The plastic materials used keep the phone very light. Samsung has gotten some bad reviews because of these materials making their phones look a bit cheap, but they've done a really good job with the Galaxy S3. It feels good in your hands with the rounded corners, and it won't slip too easily out of your hand. And I don't think it's too big, but others might have a different opinion. And now for the biggest disappointment, probably the only thing we dislike, the S Voice, Samsung's solution to the iPhone Siri. It sucks! It's got a mind of its own and is very limited, more than Siri. When we got it to work, it was cool to say, open the Into Tomorrow app, and it did it a couple of times, but it did give us problems too. Is it going to rain today?
A PMT-storm in spots. Today. The current temperature is 88 degrees.
Open Into Tomorrow app. Also, we tried setting up an alarm. That took forever. After several tries, it finally worked. A word of advice for S3 users, don't even bother. But maybe it takes a while to get used to your voice. Let us know what happens. The Samsung Galaxy S3 is currently available in Pebble Blue or White on several networks: AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, US Cellular, and Verizon. The 16GB version is competitively priced around $200. There's also a 32GB model. Because of time, I was only able to share a few of our favorite things, so we welcome your comments, tips, and tricks for our audience. We look forward to your input. This week's product spotlight is brought to you by SugarSync. Access, sync, and share your files from any device and get your free 5GB personal cloud. Because your life shouldn't have to fit in a Dropbox. Get it free at sugarsync.com. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Rob. So do you think it's the closest thing to an iPhone killer? We haven't used that term in a while. Does it have enough new things to make you want to upgrade to the S3? Do you already have one? Share your opinions and experience in the comments section. Our national radio audience would also appreciate hearing from you. So call us toll-free on the hotline, 1-800-899-INTO. That's 800-899-4686 anytime, 24/7. Or use our free Into Tomorrow apps, available on the platforms that count. We look forward to hearing your call on the air. Our weekly ITTV updates are brought to you in part by Newegg Business. They make it simple with one-stop shopping for all your IT and office needs. Shop today at neweggbusiness.com and enter promo code MTMK10G at checkout to receive 10% off any purchase of $1 or more. Maximum discount $100. That promo code again is MTMK10G. It's time to take a look back into yesterday with our in-house tech historian, Chris Graveline. This week he tells us when the world's first geosynchronous satellite took to the skies.
This week in 1903, the Ford Motor Company sold its first car. In 1925, station 2XAG in Schenectady, New York became the first radio station in the U.S. to broadcast with a 50,000-watt transmitter. The station, soon known as WGY Radio, could broadcast with 50,000 watts since it was owned by General Electric Company, a company that knew a thing or two about watts. In 1962 this week, the Telstar communication satellite sent the first live TV broadcast to Europe. The bird was used to send TV programs between the United States and Europe. And this week in 1963, SYNCOM-2, the world's first geosynchronous satellite, was launched from Cape Canaveral on a Delta B booster. That's our look back at This Week in Tech History, brought to you by IFA, the International Funkausstellung in Berlin, the global trade show for consumer electronics that's rich in its own history. Get more info at ifa-berlin.com.
Thanks, Chris. Have you ever called into our show? Did you know that everyone that participates wins prizes for joining us? Try it and see for yourself how much fun it is to hear yourself on the radio show. The easiest way is with our free Into Tomorrow app, or toll-free in North America, 800-899-INTO. That's 1-800-899-4686. If you're not following us on Twitter and liking us on Facebook yet, please hit those social buttons near the top of our main page at intotomorrow.com. That wraps up this week's ITTV report. Thanks for watching. I'm Dave Graveline. I hope to hear from you, and we'll see you next time.
With Corning Gorillas, there's only one gorilla. You guys can make fun of me. It's okay, I don't mind. It's okay.